Welcome, everyone, to the Real Whovians cast, episode 1000, Part A. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Hello.
What's up, Ray?
The president of the world has arrived.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, everybody?
So we are going to review Boring at the End of the World. All right? So I gotta tell you that I'm really interested in seeing how much money the budget was cut because they can't afford to show any explosions, weapons. I don't know if it's something to do with the terrorist attack or whatever.
They did say they changed one or took something out.
Right.
In Manchester.
So I'm wondering if that's the case. But here's the thing. The whole episode, upon my view, now here it is. I did like it. I didn't hate it. All right. I give it like a 6, maybe. Mm-hmm. But it was talk. I'm your villain. I'm your not. We're going to save you. What do we do? I don't know. How you doing? I'm blind. No, you're not. Oh, my God. You lied to me. You're an idiot. Yeah. And it was just talking to death. They should have called it boring because that's what it was. I mean, up until certain key moments where, you know, Bill and Nardole, and Bill was like upset and Bill risked her life. I mean, it just was just there, okay? And then he made a comment about the moon being dead, which means that maybe that was a simulation too because it's supposed to be alive in an egg. So I'm glad, obviously, Moffat had put that in there to make it like that was maybe just a thing, that illusion, who knows, whatever.
Yeah.
But so that way the episode stays intact because that's why Cloud left. But this thing, the Truth Monks suck. They're boring as F. I mean, if you have that much power, why don't you destroy? It's weird.
And they even question that.
It's weird.
I didn't even get. What is their true form? Because they took that form to make it easier, didn't they?
I mean, you could have called it boring at the end of the plot hole because I mean, I don't understand any of it.
I thought that beam when it hit the plane. I thought, okay, that's how they advance their members. That beam, as it hits them, it transforms them into that monkish look. And then I realized, oh, they've got robes. That wouldn't do the same to their clothes. And then they come up in the.
Well, what did you think of it, Scott? Honestly,
it was. I agree with you. It was good, and it was a 6. And boy, did the talking is the talking and talking and talking. You could have literally hit the mute button and had your own.
Yeah.
I was ready to put music on and just shut them up. I mean, that's me. All right, so I got your opinion. What about you, Ray?
I agree with you both. It was good, but it wasn't that good. After the 2 parts which we've had in the past 2 weeks, and then this one just seems to let it down again.
The first one, that first half was so much better than the second half.
Until you find out it was an illusion.
I'm not being disrespectful. The way he gets his sight back, I'm not being rude. Why would Bill? It's like Clara all over again. Bill's risking her life. So
he's around for 2,000 years, and everything he's seen, he can't restore his sight. But these freaking freaky deek monks could just go like this, and they have his sight back.
I thought
just because of love.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was expecting there's going to be a price. In other words, he loses sight later on. But I will grant them this much. I'll be kind. I thought the one thing I thought was kind of neat is when they opened their mouths, they talked. They didn't. That's when they talked, and they didn't move their lips. But I will grant them that unique thing. Like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Before I give Chris his opinion. I said when I first saw the Truth Monks, they looked like a decrepit version of the Sisterhood of Khan because of the way they colour their robes. Because of the colour of their robes in that.
Yeah.
All right, let me get Chris's opinion.
I'm very disappointed in this episode. I got to tell you, at first I was on the fence with it. I thought it started out really well. Then I can pinpoint the exact moment of the episode where I literally went, oh no, it's going to be one of these episodes. So idiot scientist opens window with potentially destructive bacteria. Helmet off. Grabs the recently deceased plant matter. Carries it in his hands, which had gloves on them, of course, but carries it in the open air across the room. Doesn't close the vents
door.
or the glass things there, and then wonders why he disintegrates after handling said deadly bacteria. Does anyone else see the idiocy in this?
Yes.
And here's another thing. They said we have an air filtration system in this building.
It kicks out every X number of minutes.
What kind of air filtration system evacuates a potentially deadly virus into the atmosphere?
Exactly.
I thought that's how
it's called some idiot that's writing the episode that has no idea what a facility does.
Now listen, like an air filtration system that gets rid of smoke or something like that, I understand that, evacuating something out into the air because smoke is harmless, it's not going to destroy the planet like this stuff is. But here's my thing. This place is working with genetically modified bacteria.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
MRSA, basically.
If something half as bad was sent into the atmosphere, that is potentially a biohazard of immense proportions, okay? That's number one, right? Number two, the doctor has now been exposed to this stuff.
Yeah.
He should be dead.
Correct.
Go to Nardle.
Or anybody that's near him should be dead because he's giving off the bacteria to the humans or whoever.
And then the monks, okay? I like the monks' design. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool alien design.
Same here.
They're somewhat humanoid. They don't move their lips like Scott said when they talk. I like the red robes. That's cool. But then it was ruined for me when they said, we chose this form to look like you. Okay, so let me get this right. This is a advanced alien race that has the ability to model perfect projections and simulations of a planet's and a species' entire history, right? But they can't get the human look right.
Right.
And then guy goes, well, you look like corpses. You're all corpses to us. Yeah. That's not a reason to look like that.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's not. Why do they look like that? If I thought that that's what they looked like, and they didn't even have to explain it. They could have just said that's what they look like. Okay. They didn't even have to say that. They could have just, here are the monks. There you go. Okay, and we would all accept that's what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now it's like, oh, well, we chose this form because we wanted to look like you.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, the weirdest thing, too, in the beginning, when they go last time, but it wasn't really a last time, it's like Bill is talking about, she watched, obviously, what the doctor watched, but he couldn't really see, he could just see things. But she watched the whole episode or video game thing, so she knows what happens. She has knowledge of the Pope interfering with her. They did that way so it could be like canon part of the episode where Bill has all the memories and Nardle has all the memories and the doctor showed the video to everybody. So that way they know that this is what it is. So that way they all have memories of it and they can say that this episode happened.
I'm just gonna throw it out there, and this is just my opinion. And I heard this from another video too, and I agree with it. And I am now of this opinion as well. This episode rendered the last episode totally pointless.
Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Because this is what I don't understand. Okay, and maybe this is me, and maybe I'll have to think about it more. But they made simulations to see how the planet would react to being, I guess, invaded or something.
Because they want to take over the world.
Right. Okay.
And accepting people.
They want to see who reacts to it and how you would get those people to react. Okay. Why does that show them how the world is going to end?
Well, better yet, if everybody saw the recording, they see these guys as the bad guys.
Well, not everybody saw the recording, though.
But he's the president of the world, so he would let everybody say, "Look, this is what happened. So they're like, we want to take you over. We want to rule the world, right? Well, that is intent that they're evil bastards trying to take over. So why would anybody believe them after watching that video that they're looking to save you?
Yeah,
that's a plot hole.
I guess he only showed it to Nardole and Bill.
No, that doesn't make any sense, though.
Nobody else had the knowledge of it. So
but that makes no sense, though, to do that.
Well, I understand that. I mean,
because when they're saying, why don't we surrender to them, they say, look at this video. And they're like, the world will be ours and all that. Right. So why don't you just show it to them?
He could have showed it to them, but he didn't. You know, another thing that the doctor did that really made me shake my head, too. It's like, I put every classified document online. Well, guess what just happened? Because of that, now entire governments and countries are going to destroy themselves from the outside in.
Right.
I don't know about you, but those three colonels, or whatever you call them soldiers of all the three major armies, going back in there after they saw that person get disintegrated and trying to reason with them.
Yeah.
Well, wait, before we get into that, first of all, every official that has any power in the whole entire world had elected to make this document that he is complete president over the whole world and everybody. So one little army sergeant or whatever saying, well, it's our world. Now, who the fuck are these people to decide that he's no longer president of the world on a whim? There's government documents that says, we don't give a shit what you say. This is the way it's going to fucking be. And you need a whole world to vote him out. So how the fuck do these people?
I want to add on to that because as soon as I thought of that, I immediately thought of Smile and what we said in Smile, where we were like, who's the human race to say that this guy makes the decision?
Right.
They're playing both sides in this season. It's almost like they want you to be with the doctor at one point in this episode because he's saying, no, don't do it. But be against the doctor in Smile when he forces the human race to make this deal with the robots and be like, So I'm really conflicted about how to feel about this because on one hand I want to say, why did they do that? Like, why don't they listen to the doctor? But on the other hand, it contradicts what we said in Smile, where we're like, well, it is the human's planet. So
I'll tell you why it doesn't make any sense. I think I figured it out.
Whoa.
This is the first instance of filming the episodes out of order doesn't make any sense.
I guess.
Because when you film them out of order, you're probably filming friggin' Smile, the last part, right? Or whatever. And when you do that, when you do each episode, you realize what mistakes you made. Okay, maybe I need to do a rewrite in the next one because that's kind of stupid, right? But they never realize the mistakes if they film them out of order because they're making more mistakes. And they contradict each other. Mm-hmm. So here it is. The entire world votes him in as president. One person doesn't have the power to overthrow that. And the truth monk should have said, you are not in a position to do that because only the president of the world can do that, meaning the doctor.
He should have been able to overrule their decision. Like,
correct.
Going back
and if they really watched from the beginning of time till now, they would know that he's the president of the world. So that's another plot hole. That's another plot hole because they know since Missy incident.
It's just contradictory writing.
Right.
You got Moffat.
Yeah, well,
and Moffat stepped in to write half of the episode.
Yeah, I saw that.
So this is like, I'm going to give you an example. Here's the thing, and this is my nightmare scenario. Moffat wanted to be part of a 3-part episode before he goes because Russell T. Davis had it. And didn't I say, if anybody look at my old videos, I said before he leaves, the one thing he never did was a 3-part episode. But because of ego, he's going to be a part of it in some fashion, right? He's done that now, right? This is going to be a 3-parter.
Yeah.
This is a direct copy, almost twistedly, of Utopia, Sound of Drums, Last of the Time Lords. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at the trailer from Lie of the Land, it's almost like the Master's World, where the truth monks And they're all dressed in the dark clothing, like Turn Left or like, Last of the Time Lords, where, everybody's miserable. That Martha Jones is running to save the world. They're all dressed like weird. And this is like the Last of the Time Lords. The Truth Monks are in power. 6 months they're in power. Okay? For 6 months. Not like a year like the Master, but for 6 months. Okay? So what's going to happen is, everything is going to be undone. Either time is going to revert back 6 months, where this is all erased from the point of the pyramids. It's going to be a reset button. It's going to be a reset button. Because don't tell me the whole entire world is going to be worshiping the monks like God for 6 months. And then when it's over, they're going to be like, yeah, that's all right. No, it's going to be reset again. It's going to be reset button like toilets to the center of TARDIS. Okay, so my ratings are going to go down severely once this is over. I mean, if I don't see anything different or improvements, because you're a super bad guy, but then you don't share it to the world, and they're we're trying to help you. No, you're not. And then it's like, and then you have these capabilities. The technology doesn't make any sense. You can make the guy see that he's 2,000 years old. Sorry, 2005 or whatever. And he doesn't have the technology or the know-how to cure his eyesight, but they do. And they probably some scrub race that just whatever. I mean, this doesn't make any sense.
And some, like, this too, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, okay, so they're watching these places through the CCTV cameras. Okay?
Right.
Let's roll with that. When everything got shut off, wouldn't they be like, that's a little suspicious?
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching it from the beginning of time, yeah.
And why was it a pyramid? What was the significance of this race having a pyramid that looks exactly like Egypt? Like what? Now, in the episode, they could have said, oh, our ship took this form because it's something that you recognize. Okay. Why was it a pyramid?
Hey, well, I'm not being rude.
They said that about themselves, but yet they didn't say anything about their ship. That's
when I first saw it, I thought it's probably a TARDIS or something.
That's what I was saying too.
Yeah, when I first saw the pyramid.
Well, didn't Moffat copy off of himself? Because didn't he say that the Silents were on the Earth since the cavemen waiting to catch up to the Doctor? Which made no effing sense. Made no effing sense. Why? If you have time travel capabilities, because they said obviously that Madame Kavarian traveled along his timeline, that if you have time travel capabilities, that you would just sit to the beginning of the Earth and chill for thousands of years waiting to catch up to him. That's dumb.
And another thing too, and they said this in the episode, right? They said we're here with the Earth's darkest hour, like when the Earth is doomed.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't the Earth been doomed like 100,000 times?
Yes. Yes.
So that means to me that either
they're full of shit.
Either A, they're responsible. Like we're gonna find out that they actually made this bacteria, like this group, which would have made sense. Either they pushed those events to happen, which would make sense, or B, they have the ability to see into the future. All those other times that the Earth was quote-unquote in danger, they knew that it was going to get resolved, so they came to this moment to do it. But if that's true, then how come they can't look into the future and be like, oh, look, we get stopped here by this guy?
Exactly.
I think the whole point is that they're liars.
Yeah.
That they haven't been from the beginning of time. They're constantly lying, and they just appeared there. They may have observed from their ship in space that was cloaked or whatever, but they've never been on Earth for freaking billions or zillions of years, whatever. They just appeared now.
So all these simulations was just basically just to learn and not really to...
But again, there's got to be a purpose to why you want to rule the Earth. What is it about the Earth that is appealing to you out of billions and billions and billions of planets? Why are you here? The thing they should have said is, we're here because you're here, Doctor, because you love the Earth so much, we want it. Like we're assholes or something, like...
When they said about this ain't our true form, I thought one of them was going to turn into their true form, and that never happened, did it?
Well, listen, if they became a familiar villain and that was their true form, that would have been cool.
Maybe we'll see it in the next episode or something.
Maybe not.
Because the Doctor in the trailer says, "Oh, I've joined the Truth Monks." So
how does that make any sense too?
Which makes me wonder. Okay, what he's going to do is this is a red herring. He always does. I've joined them, and in reality, he was going to learn about them, and then.
I don't think so. I think he's genuinely mind wiped or something.
Yeah, I agree because and this answers
I
the
agree.
question as to why Bill in the description. It answers why Bill is the only one who's not affected by it because she's the one that consented to it, and it's almost like because she consented to it, she remembers what was happening beforehand, and this group, she knows that they're not really saving them to be good Samaritans,
and they won't hurt her because she consented.
But you could tell this was another Moffat kind of thing because, like I said, we've had the past 2 weeks where they've been full of eyes and it's been up there to the top, and now it's back down again.
I don't understand the purpose of how it's going to end, and then the next thing is, let's just travel to Mars and see the ice waters.
Well, no, because what you said, Joe, was right. They're going to just do a reset thing.
They're going to do a whole entire reset button. It's pathetic.
I wonder if his regeneration is going to do all that, or if that's just the.
But that's another thing. Is it going to be a good enough reason why she shoots him, and that he holds back the regeneration energy?
Yeah, but if they reset it, then it might not even count.
That regeneration of was going to bring back his eyesight, not the way it brought back.
Well, you know what it is? This is the problem when we try to speculate. We think we know shit and we don't. So people are saying that it's on the planet Mondus or something. It's not. At least we don't think so.
Feeling that allowed her to stay alive, but yet all these other individuals said you did it out of fear, you did it out of yada yada.
Well, he's kind of copying himself, Moffat, because you know how he's trying to address, all right, well, Bill now seen what happened in the simulation, so it kind of happened. I mean, she has memories of it. It's sort of like when Amy Pond was with the Doctor and Rory for episodes, and it turned out to be a ganger. Yeah. And the way they explained that as well, she was really part of you with the adventures, but she wasn't physically there. So she has memories of it. That's ridiculous.
And do the same with the baby too.
I mean, it's just, I'm having a bad taste in my mouth about this whole season. I really am.
I got to tell you. Oh, and you said this already. I think, Scott, you said it. The last episode was so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's getting burned out. He's getting burned out. Yeah. He's burnt out.
Which proves my point. Which proves my point about what Moffat should have been doing in the long run. When you start getting to the mid season, break away, put a stand-in in.
Yeah.
Go take care of your other show, and when that show, and do the same with your other show. Step away and go back again. And
you know what I would have done if I was a showrunner and I was burnt out? I would say, listen, everyone, I'm the showrunner, but there's no rule in here that I have to write one episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step back because creatively I am screwed up. So I can't write shit. So I'm going to let you guys write everything. I'm going to approve it or disapprove it. And I'm not going to write one freaking episode, okay? And that's all he would have had to do, and it would have been fine. But no, he is taking on too much work that he's even writing people's episodes halfly.
His ego is so massive that he can't stop himself, innit?
No, Joe, the word is half-assly. He's doing it.
They're all half-ass episodes.
I'm not being rude.
But they're not even, the last few episodes have been good.
Well, but here's the thing. Oxygen was great, but did he write it? No.
No.
He didn't. And Thin Ice was great. Did he write it? No. Knock, knock, all this other but this is now genuinely him. Extremis. Well, first of all, the puddle monster was his. And that was all right. This is Extremis was his, which was cool. Better than this. And this is this is like a filler. What is this?
They should have
you can't do 3-part episodes.
This should have been part 1 to explain somewhat of everything's going on. And then Extremis should have been part 2.
No.
The way it's looking like.
No wonder Capaldi wants to leave if this is what's happening.
I'm going to say something controversial. And again, you could have watched the first 5 minutes, sat on the can for like 40 minutes, come back 5 minutes, and you would have known the same thing you would have known the whole episode.
Yeah.
Because all it was blah, blah, blah,
You
blah.
could go
blah,
on
blah,
better
blah,
than that.
blah, blah, blah.
You could have missed the whole 90% of the episode, and it would have been like, oh.
You can go one better than that. You could have missed Extremis.
Yeah.
And watched this episode.
Because Extremis never happened. It was a video game.
It happened, but outside of the the simulation, and the simulation did happen. It was just what was in there wasn't real.
Somebody should do a rough cut, do the Missy scenes together as one mini-sode, and then you're good.
But this is my thing. Like, there was nothing like that episode didn't lead into this directly. Like, you know what they could have done? They could have done Extremis, right? Then they could have done the Ice Warriors episode, and then they could have done this, and it would have been exactly the same. Because it wasn't like, oh, in Extremis, like, oh, they did a simulation, and then, like, they hear, oh, there's a pyramid that just appeared out of nowhere. Let's go. Like, it was like, oh, is Extremis. The only thing that was like, oh, maybe it's happening like the night after is because she went out with that one girl, Bill. Yeah. But they didn't even imply that it was the next night. It was like, oh, yeah, it was kind of, it could have been, maybe.
It could have easily hopscotched around.
Oh.
It's just, if you're going to do a three-parter, do a three-parter that connects, that you have to see the first episode, you have to see the second episode, and then you'll understand the third episode. With this one, it's like, I'm going to watch Pyramid at the End of the World, and then Lie of the Land, and then, oh, maybe I can watch Extremis because I guess it's like a prologue.
Oh.
Like, you could have did Extremis. You could have did Extremis where it wasn't a simulation, and they kidnapped Bill. And then, boom, it runs into the next one. He's trying to find her. There's this pyramid there. He finds out she's captured there. Like a cliffhanger. You cliffhanger and a cliffhanger and a cliffhanger, but it's not. It's just. And now, what the hell is with the TARDIS now all of a sudden?
Well, you know
all of a sudden, the TARDIS has fumes in there? What is that about?
You know what they could have done? Yeah. They could have done this. They could have done the simulation thing in Extremis, right? And then at the end of the episode, you see the true one saying, we know how we can take over this planet, and then you show and like you imply or you show like a hint that they're going to make some sort of bacteria, but they're going to make humanity think that humanity itself made it, which leads to this episode where we see the bacteria and people going, oh shit, we just made some sort of horrible flesh bone complete molecule breakdown bacteria. And that's why the doctor gets involved. Well, not because of that, but because
well, let me ask you a question. By them healing his eyes, right? Do they poison his eyes where he's mind controlled?
That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know.
Probably.
They said at the end, you will see our world doctor, and then it just
meaning the way they want him to see it, that they're the truth. And so that's how they control him. That's why he has to heal his eyes, really.
Yeah.
And you notice in the scenes for Lie of the Land, at every single mark, there's one of those monk statues.
Yeah.
It's like the Master all over again.
Yeah. Well,
those statues to cause everybody to see what they want to see.
That Master had a statue. That's the same shit.
I thought, to be honest, after last week when he was speaking to Missy, I thought we were going to see her in this episode. Because he said he needed her, didn't he? Because he didn't want to.
Yeah, why wouldn't she be in this episode then?
Because he said he needed her.
Exactly.
Because he didn't want anyone to let to know that he was
exactly.
blind.
So why couldn't they free her?
Could you imagine? Think about this, right? Because there was that rumor that John Sims' Master might be involved in this storyline. Could you imagine if he's in the next episode, but it gets reset and that's all we get of him?
Oh Jesus!
Could you imagine that?
What do you mean? Like, just he appears at the end?
Shows up, but because they let's say they actually do like a time reset where none of this stuff that we see in the next episode happens. Could you imagine for some reason John Sim is there and then they reset it and that's all we get of him this season?
Oh no, he's going to be at the finale. He's in the finale.
That's what we heard. We also heard that this episode was taking place on Mondas. So I mean,
well, that was here's the thing. That was rumor, speculation that we just said maybe will happen. Like we kind of looked at it and said, okay, but it was kind of twisted. It wasn't Mondas. It was just a computer game instead.
Yeah.
This is why I kept saying, like, we can't We can't get too excited.
But see, the thing is, we do get excited because we have to talk about it because we do podcasts.
Yeah.
So if we weren't,
but this is why I was saying, and this was really just for myself.
Yeah.
This is why I didn't get too excited for this season, because I knew that there was going to be something stupid that happened.
Well, so far,
we got it right here.
If it were to end today, the season, and this was it, I wouldn't buy the box set.
No.
I'm not really interested in the season like this. This is not enjoyment to me. It's like, if I really was super interested, I'd watch it somehow on TARDIS Blue at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I'm out and do my thing, whatever. I'm reserving it for 9 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, when am I going to enjoy it? Okay, are we going to talk the whole episode? And then I like a few things from it, but a few things that are nothing
it's not worth a few things to like.
Like I said, like I was saying about Missy.
And why isn't Unit involved in this?
Yeah,
that's what I'm waiting.
Yeah, like I said about Missy. No, I don't even mention the vote in this episode. Like, why are you leaving it? Did he? He was like, I'm just coming along now.
Yeah, what happened to Nardal?
Yeah,
how is it the TARDIS is closed and Genghis Khan can't even get in there and this with bull crap? How does the smoke go in the TARDIS?
No, remember it was trying to leave, and something was preventing it from leaving.
So they're that powerful to control the TARDIS now?
No, I think it detected something, and when it was trying, and so in order not to bring the contamination to wherever, it shut itself down.
Oh, so in other words, it didn't want it to spread? That's what it did? Okay.
But
we don't
remember. You're on, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
No, we don't even know that because it made that weird noise and it was landing. Like I don't know if it was necessarily to do with the bacteria or if something else was going on.
But
remember, it's like it was having difficulties, and it only transported itself to the next room, and he wanted Nardal to leave the building. It sounded like he wanted.
And remember, Nardal's lungs are cheap.
Right.
Well, if that's the explanation for what happened to Nardal, then there's no reason that it shouldn't have happened to the Doctor too.
I mean, again, moral to the story is, if you're going to write an episode about a facility that has these bacteria that could destroy the human race, and if something goes wrong, opens the windows, look into actual history to see that that's not the case. Well, because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It wasn't going to open the windows. It was going to extract the air.
I'm being sarcastic. Meaning, meaning, them opening up to atmosphere is the equivalent of me opening up a window. Yeah. Meaning they're letting it out. That's what I was trying to mean. So how stupid is this writing here?
I agree with Chris. It's I said right the minute I saw him. Oh, he takes his mask off and then he touches the contaminated area, and once that happened, I'm going 5, 4, 3.
Yeah. It was like watching Prometheus. Like, friggin' when he opened that thing, I was like,
Prometheus was actually good. So I mean,
well, no, but even in that, they made stupid decisions. Okay, like taking their helmets off and stuff. But I digress. Like when he opened up that thing, I was like, you literally just witnessed a group of plants disintegrate. Mm-hmm. So your first idea is, I'm gonna open this and scoop it out with my hands?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well, let me say one thing. Okay, Ray.
Just before you do, and even that scientist that done it, he was unwell as well. So why would you even make yourself even more unwell by taking off a bloody?
We only got like 2 minutes, but let me add something else too. This is the first time in Doctor history I believe that this was done. Okay, you brought a woman back, an actress, for 2 episodes. Was the useless purpose in history as a date for Bill. Yeah. She has no purpose. She's just there to date Bill in 2 episodes. Just be there. She has no purpose to any Doctor Who episodes. That's never been done in Doctor Who history. They're the most useless character, Penny, for a date. They paid her. They wasted the budget. Putting her in 2 episodes. What is she? Is she going to be a companion? Probably not.
I think they were trying to use that as the connective tissue between Extremis and this.
Okay, but like she's the most useless purpose to have somebody in 2 episodes in history. It is. I've never seen them waste it like that before. So whatever. All right. We got a minute left. Again, to be fair, there are people that could be on the Zoom that people could not. They need Google. So we are going to do parts of this 1,000 extravaganza of the Whovians cast. So this is part A, people. Part B will begin shortly. I don't know how many parts it's going to be because I don't know how many people are up tonight or tomorrow or whatever, but I'm going to try to make it fair for everybody. Not everybody has to be in part A. It's all one big conglomerate thing, okay? Just to be fair, like you're trying to run through the gate to knock people over. All right, we're going to... I'm using an extinction. My KB Toys days, we used to lift the gate up. We used to run in, knocking kids against pegs just to get the start of life. But look, we're gonna try to make room for everybody. The next one will probably be a Google Hangout. So that's gonna be it for this segment. Stay tuned for part B. Take care. Bye for now.